What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, Election Day is coming. People are hitting the polls and ballots are being turned in. How are you feeling?
8 days until I butt fuck this country.
I wish that could be a title. It's a little too dirty, but
No, you should see the rallies that we're having. The rallies are so, I would say, inspiring. It's one of these things where you realize the fake news, they're being nasty. They can't stand the fact that I've been so successful and that I'm strongly defeating COVID and that our economy is coming back. And, it's gonna be great. And we shocked everybody 4 years ago, and I think we're gonna shock them even more strongly in 8 days. And we will have a winner in 8 days. We're not waiting one day longer than November 3rd, or else it's fraud. And I will unleash the army of Mountain Dew rapists.
now, Mr. President, before we get to, I have a ton of things to ask you, but I just want to let all our listeners know, November, big month. We're going to be doing tons of bonus episodes. So please get on the Patreon to enjoy multiple episodes a week. Patreon.com/MPGA. We will send out a message to all the Patreon patriots. So join up, whatever level is good for you. Patreon.com/MPGA. Lots of bonus material coming in November.
By the way, October is
Yes.
still here, by the way. Not a lot
Yes.
of people know that, but it's still October. And this week, Wednesday night, I will be reviewing two new films. Strong film. Well, one strong, one not so strong. Borat 2, this disgraceful so-called comedian, Stephen Bartholomew Cohen. And the other movie, which was tough to get through because of how emotional it was, is called Cuties. It's on Netflix, and I watched it and found it very interesting. And so,
Is Cuties, Mr. President, is Cuties the Jeffrey Epstein documentary on
no.
Netflix?
He would have loved the film, but no, it's a French film, so you wouldn't expect me to like it, because normally they're very weak, but they're very strong on sort of adult kid relationships. They're much stronger than our country when it comes to sort of looking at that with a more broad perspective. But no, it's a film about, if you look at the pictures, it's about the squad. It's actually a film about the squad. You see the little Latin one with the big glasses. It's obviously AOC before she got the D's. And, there's a Muslim, which is obviously Ilhan Omar. And we're going to get into it. It's actually, it's a strong film. It's a strong, but I don't want to give it away. I want the people.
I can't wait.
Ivanka level and up. Wednesday night, it should go up, maybe Thursday morning at the latest. Borat 2, your president will review Borat 2, not 1, 2. And Mike, you like the Deuce, right? And Cuties. So very, very powerful Rotten Oranges this month. And
Looking
then we'll
forward
have
to it.
a special Halloween video, which will go up on Friday for our perfect 10 people.
Now, Mr. President, I want to ask you about a person. Please tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Aubrey O'Day.
Is that my son?
She was
no. That's the conservative former baseball player who's always yelling things.
No,
he's a fan of me.
No. This is she was a singer for Danity Kane. I think they were assigned to Bad Boy. She was on Celebrity Apprentice. She's a singer.
Oh, of course, yes. She was sure. She was a singer, and she was on Celebrity Apprentice, and she was in Dan and Yogurt Kane. Sure.
Danity Kane.
That's what I said. I remember very strongly. Very okay. Yeah, sure.
Did you say Dan and Yogurt Kane?
No. I said what you said, and she's sort of a talent. Okay. So no, we remember. Of course we remember.
Now, do you remember that allegedly she had an affair with Don Jr.?
Well, they say allegedly and they call it an affair. In the Trump family, we don't really believe in affairs. It's sort of, we just call them Trumps. We just call it somebody's having a Trump. You remember Bobby Brown? We had him. We once paid him a nice amount of money to sing a remix called "Trumpin' Around." Ain't nobody trumping around when your
No.
wife's European and she can't speak English. You can do whatever you want. Bars.
I thought I was going to get more out of that.
Well, when you trump someone and you're trumping all around, you ain't got no Trump in your life. Anyway,
Jumping around. Okay.
no, you were totally off. That's, a total disgrace. I mean, I have bars. We've established I have very strong
Yes.
bars, and I also, helped write the song with Bobby Brown. We did get him on a discount because he was very after, after Whitney Houston passed
Hmm.
away. We
Yes.
figured he was vulnerable then, so we got a discount. We call it the depressed discount. We like to hire artists when they're at their low point because I normally take 100,000. He'll take 10,000 if he's crying. So it's in my forthcoming book, The Art of the Deal 2, More Deal.
To take advantage of people when they lost their spouse or significant other, you strike a deal with them to get them when they're vulnerable to get a good deal out of it.
Well, there it is. I don't want to
Huh.
say too much more. I want people to buy the book, but The
Of
Art of the
course.
Deal 2, More Deal.
Well, Mr. President, a few things that Aubrey O'Day tweeted. I'm sure you saw it. You're an avid fan of Twitter. A few things, and if you could deny or um, shed some light on it. First thing, she said that Don Jr. hates you.
Uh, I could see that. He's a weak person, and he's always been a disappointment to me. So I don't think he hates me, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't like me.
This was a bombshell. Ivanka is really a lesbian.
I mean, if she goes, but I don't know if she's a pure lesbian, but as if I've already declared her sort of the most perfect woman on earth. You think going both ways is going to lower her ranking? I don't think so.
Okay. How about your other son, Eric, had sex with Miss Universe on the boardroom table with his wife for The Apprentice? Do you deny that or?
I'm proud of him. I'm proud because he's always been sort of the loser. And you know what? And don't you remember after the convention, I had him bump.
That's right. To the
He's
favorite.
ahead of Don Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And this is more proof that I made the right decision. I just don't like, his wife is like not really Trump worthy. But it shows that if she's willing to engage another woman on a Trump desk, she's at least recognizing that she's not enough and that a Trump is worthy of more than her. So I think it shows great, I would say, awareness of what a mediocre woman Laura Trump is.
And it's a Miss Universe, so the mediocrity plus like a perfect 10, you average them out, it's got to be like at least an 8.
7.5. Don't give Laura too much credit.
Okay, 7.5.
Laura Trump, but she works hard out there. She definitely wants to get into politics. I don't know. Don Jr.'s wife was a lot better looking. I don't know about Kim Gargoyle, but she's a freak, so we respect that.
Now this one, I know you get confused about this a lot, but you have another son. His name is Baron. You had this son with Melania. He Don Jr. said that Baron is an asshole. He's a spoiled brat. He even told Aubrey a story that he did not like the food when he was on Air Force One, and he threw a plate of food at the flight attendant. He sounds like a Trump.
Yeah, I don't. He took a DNA test, and he's 100% that Trump apparently. uh, no, I think he's I don't know him, but he sounds like an interesting young person. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll find out. Anybody that Don Jr. Such a fucking loser. Pardon my language. Anybody that Don Jr. doesn't like is a pretty strong person in my mind. Pretty strong. Okay.
So all these news that came out, you somehow spun them to be positive in your eyes. Your son hating you, him having an affair, Ivanka being a lesbian, so she's living like a fake life. Eric having sex with Muse Universe on the boardroom table with his wife, and Baron being a spoiled little asshole. You somehow approve of all this behavior and don't
You
care.
know what? It's called powerful thinking. It's called positive thinking, and that's what the country needs. That's what I'm doing with COVID. I'm providing strong, positive thoughts for a country that frankly needs them. Okay, not with Sleepy Joe. They're going to get a lot of sleep with Sleepy Joe. They need to get their country back, and they need a strong, inspiring leader. That's what I am.
Well, this is some good news. New York, your hometown, a hometown paper. We know the New York Times did not endorse you, but another hometown paper did, and that is the New York Post endorsed Donald Trump for president.
They've always been the best newspaper in New York by quite a large margin. They've always represented the working class, and I had them. I talked to the editorial board, and they told me they thought I was running a strong campaign, and most importantly, they said when the cops who raped Abner Louima in 1999 decided not to run, that locked up the endorsement for me.
That's awful, but
No,
congratulations.
it's a great thing. They didn't run. They
Okay.
didn't run. I've assured them that they could probably come in and be part of the Homeland Security team in a second term. So that sort of convinced them not to run.
So you're saying
But no, it's
the cops that shove things up that guy's ass, you want them to be your security team. Why?
well part of the national security team because that man was Haitian, and we're trying to deal with other foreign countries. And who's been tougher on foreigners than those cops? Not many people, I can tell you that.
But those cops are racist. They did these things to him
No,
because
I don't
of.
think that. I don't. I think that's. I no. Excuse me. Excuse me. There was no. I didn't mention anybody's race. I think that they were
You said
being.
Haitian. You said
Uh,
he dealt with the Haitian man. That's what you said. How they dealt with the Haitian. That's what you just said that.
right. Well, that's a nationality that has nothing to do with race.
But they're from a different place, so that's the reason why they were so violent with him.
No, they were tough police officers, and one of them I think was on steroids. Okay. Not like the good therapeutics that I'm on, but like sort of the bodybuilding steroids, and they got a little aggressive, and that's okay. Sometimes things happen, and I think they feel sorry for it. I think they apologize. Well, they might have apologized, and I think everybody, as a Christian, I believe everybody deserves a second chance.
Mr.
That's
President.
why I'm putting together as part of my national security team in
Yes.
2021 for a second term a special unit of Homeland Security called Cops Who Murdered People and Got Away with It Division.
On steroids.
No, no, it's all natural. And no, it's going to be a lot of a lot of tough people, a lot of tough people that you wouldn't want to mess with. I can tell you that.
So you think when police get in trouble for being too violent, they are good candidates to serve for you?
We have gotten soft as a country. It used to be a thing where you could paralyze a guy on the football field and they'd high five you and put you in a commercial. It used to be a thing where you could, shoot a black, and you know, as Dave Chappelle, who by the way is African American, he talked about this. He talked about sprinkling crack on dead bodies. So it used to be very common. And we've gotten so soft and so weak as a country. And I think it's got to change. I think in a second term for me, it's got to change so strongly.
Mr. President, you know who isn't weak? You know who is so strong? You guessed it.
BetOnline.ag.
Our sponsor, betonline.ag. They are not weak at
Love
all.
those guys.
They are the strongest in the business. Okay. And guess what? Football is in full swing. It is back. I bet every single week with betonline.ag. They have prop betting, they have futures. It is awesome. Okay. And we know we're not going to be at a game this year, but you can still bet on the action at BetOnline. BetOnline is going the extra mile to make sure that you can get in on everything imaginable this season, from game spreads and totals to team, player, and coaching props. BetOnline gives you more options to wager than any place online. They have a casino. They even have you can bet on the election coming up. Have you wagered any money, or are you not going to tell us?
I think I said it might have been last week or 2 weeks ago. I bet very heavily on Sleepy Joe Biden.
All right, so you're hedging your bets here. I understand that.
Either I become leader of the free world again and can manipulate the economies to help me, or I'll win several $1,000,000 when Sleepy Joe pulls off the win.
There you go. So it's a win-win for you. Get in on the season opening bonuses today and start off wagering to win division and championship futures today. Head to Bet Online today and take advantage of all the great sign-up bonuses. Like I said before, we got football, bet on the last few baseball games. They have a casino, and also bet on the presidential election. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. That's betonline.ag.
And
Mr.
no
President,
Native
yes,
Americans to bother you while you gamble.
that should be their slogan. And no Native Americans to bother you while you're gambling. I like that. Now, Mr. President, you did an interview with 60 Minutes, as you like to refer to them. I think it's 42 minutes. Is that how you refer to them? 41 minutes, 42 minutes,
Thank you. It's 41 minutes. You
41
saved
minutes.
yourself there. It's clearly
Yes,
41 minutes, not 42. Don't give them any extra credit.
you were being interviewed by Leslie Stahl. You didn't seem to like her very much, and you walked out of the interview. Can you explain why you walked out on an interview?
It was a rude interview. The tone was not the tone that they give Sleepy Joe Biden, who they treat with kid gloves. They might as well serve him, an Ensure and some applesauce and some warm milk and ask him if he wants to watch People's Court. They coddle him like he's their favorite nursing home resident, and you know, they treat me like a criminal. They treat me like somebody who's raped people and cheated on his taxes. They treat me so unfairly versus how they treat Sleepy Joe. It's a total disgrace. It's a witch hunt. It's a hoax. It's a disgrace. It's nasty. And I don't appreciate it. And Leslie Stahl was being so rude. And, it was just, they're a disgraceful show. They used to be so great. And now, you know, now like Leslie Stahl, they're not so hot anymore.
Now, Mr. President, I have a question for you. You are very loose with your words. You are aggressive at times. You are unfiltered much of the time. You have bullied people online. You have called people's names. You have retweeted sexist and racial things online, especially on Twitter. Now, after doing all these things that are questionable, and someone comes at you and asks you to be accountable for these actions, you can't just walk out on an interview. That's not very presidential.
Well, let's see. I am currently president and I walked out. So apparently you can do it. You can't do it, but I can do it. And I did
Mr.
it very strongly. I walked very strongly without any illness. I was totally COVID free. They're just the fake news is a disgrace.
How does your
Pence
throat
came in after me.
how does your throat feel? Because you sound very hoarse when you're talking. It sounds like something is wrong.
We've been having the rallies and I'm talking so much. You see how much they love the rallies? There's no entertainment right now. And I said this very strongly during the pandemic. I said, I have to be the commander in chief, strength. I have to be the consoler in chief. So when we have problems, I have to tell people that it's going to be not so bad. And also with entertainment and movies shut down, I have to be the entertainer in chief. So no president has ever had to do more than I've done, and nobody's ever done it so well. So we're doing very strongly. And I get a little hoarse. You know, you get to these rallies and you're talking and you're yelling so much at the great people of Florida and Pennsylvania. And, you know, these people, they deserve the best from their president. It's not enough. You may not know this. It's not enough to just work 20, 25 hours a week for the
No.
American people. You've got to do at least 30 hours of live shows. You know, now you're talking a full time, you know, that's more than a full-time job. So you put in 3 to 4 hours a day as president, and then you fly and watch your programs and tweet, and then you go, you know, to like a chain restaurant with the Secret Service and you eat, and then you do big rallies, and that's exhausting by the end of the day.
Mr. President, there's one
You
thing
know,
that
some days I have to cut back on doing presidential things. I say I can't do this. I can't do my shows and the job. So you know what? The job has to come second.
I mean, 30 hours is a lot. You have to figure out how
Well,
to do
25,
everything.
25.
I mean, 25 is still a lot. 25 hours work a week. I mean, that's overtime right there, Mr. President. So we understand why you're so tired and exhausted.
Well,
Mr. President,
it's very tough.
now also during the 60-minute interview, right as you walked out, you did kind of try to pull an alpha power move where you had Kaylee McEnany, your press secretary, come in the room and hand 60 Minutes a giant book, and then you said, "This is my health care plan," and walked out.
Did you see that? Did you see that power move when Kaylee, she could barely lift it up? We brought in a big stack of papers. Nothing scares reporters more than when you say, "Look at my big stack of papers."
But there was no health. There's no healthcare plan in there. It was just random papers. So can you explain that move?
But it was also no. It was strong ideas, and it was executive orders, and there was a few takeout menus, and it was a very sort of robust, uh, strong plan, outline, idea, structure.
But usually when someone says, "Here's a healthcare plan," it's the healthcare plan. It's not like a choose your own adventure book where you have to find the clues in order to get to the healthcare plan.
No, it's in there as you wouldn't understand, and I think they're too low IQ on 60 Minutes to understand. There was a plan in there. There's a plan so big that I don't think they could appreciate it. But it's a
So,
great plan. It's a great plan for America, for our healthcare. We want to get rid of Obamacare and replace it with something so much better.
so what you're telling me is that plan was so grand and so complex that they were too stupid to read it and understand it. So you did give them a healthcare plan. It's just their brains can't grip it.
You couldn't have put it any better if you were me. Well, maybe you would have done it a little better if you were me, but I would say yes, I would say that's what it is.
Okay. Now, also, you've came out recently and you said that the COVID deaths are being overreported by the hospitals. You did say that in the past, but maybe not from your mouth, but maybe from the administration. But this actually came. You said this. Do you really think that's true? Do you think people are overreporting this? Why would we want this virus to keep going? Wouldn't we want to defeat this virus?
I think hospitals are greedy. I think they're very greedy. I think we do great healthcare here, the best healthcare in the world, just like I got at Walter Reed.
Some of the
I think
best for
everybody
sure.
does. I think everybody can get that if they want it.
That's not
And
true. They
no,
can't get
no,
the
it's
same
true.
health
It's
care
true.
that you
They're in
got.
this country. No, they can get close, and it's good enough.
You were out of the
And
hospital in 2 days, Mr. President. People with COVID have not been in and out of the hospital in 2 days.
well, thank you. I think you put, I am sort of a unique, sort of
Specimen.
strong specimen. It's okay. Not everybody can be as great as me. I think we've established that, but it's not my fault that I'm better than everybody else. That then they can't heal like me. But I would say very strongly that what were we talking about?
Talking about COVID and talking about how
Shut your
you,
mouth. Get it? That was like a shaft. Remember Shaft?
yeah, yes,
When we,
but
I'm only talking about COVID. Shut your mouth.
Mr.
Uh,
President, let's stay on
no,
topic here.
it's okay. Obviously, you're racist. You won't let me talk about Shaft. But I would say everybody can have great, powerful health care like I had, and most importantly, the hospitals, they don't want people to heal the way I did so strongly. They want you to be sick all the time. They want to keep billing you and making more money, and they want more funds. They want. I got it. I saw a doctor at Walter Hill Hospital.
Walter Reed.
Well, he can read, he can write, but what they were talking about is I walked by them. I walked by these people, and they were saying, I heard them say this: we've got to get more people sick so we can get more money. I heard them say that. I heard the doctors say that, and then they saw me, and you saw them say, "Oh, excuse me, sir, sir, didn't see you there, sir." They said, "Sir," a lot. Let me tell you, they said, "Sir," a lot. And
That doesn't sound.
excuse me, these doctors, everybody acts like they're so great. These are some of the nastiest, greedy people. Not the doctors I had, but the other doctors who are
Mhm.
saying I'm not doing a good job. Those doctors are some of the nastiest, most greedy and disrespectful people I think in any profession, let alone our great medical profession, which has many good people. Okay, some of the people that do medicine are actually good people.
Hmm. So you're telling me this, that the doctors who don't agree with you and don't like you are the doctors who are greedy and that want more COVID.
They want so much COVID, your head would spin.
My head would spin on a lot of things, huh? That you like saying
Because
that.
they now know that we have therapeutics and plasma and many things that are working so strongly, and they don't want people to know that. They don't want people to know. They want to keep getting funding.
You've
They want
told
to keep
everyone about it.
but they, when you're in the hospital, you maybe don't remember what your great president said, and then the doctors take over and they say, "No, sir, we don't have plasma, we don't have therapeutics, we don't have all the great things that President Trump, sir, said." And they lie. They lie. The doctors lie. These people, and then they try to do abortions while you have COVID.
They tried to perform an abortion on you when you were
No,
sick with
no,
COVID.
no, not on me. But I walked
Okay.
by some of these rooms, and they were doing abortions on people with COVID. This is what these doctors are not all great people, and we've got to do something about it.
That's wrong. Taking advantage of people with COVID and giving them an abortion. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. I did not know that was happening in the hospitals.
No, you can look it up. You can look it up on, QAnon has some strong theories about, COVID is actually part of the white genocide.
I did not know that. I'm learning a lot tonight, Mr. President. You are a teacher, a scholar, a leader, so many things.
A rapist.
Well, yeah, a rapist too. Mr. President,
Excuse me. No, no, no,
yes.
no, no. I'm not gonna. No, no. I think you mean it in a different way. I used it in the way like I rap. I rap, and somebody who raps is a rap. You can pronounce it a rapist or a rapist. I think you may have meant something else, but no, I rap. That's what I meant.
No, I know you got bars. You're the best rapist out of any rapist that ever has lived because you got bars.
I wonder if Roy Den Hollander could rap.
You're definitely a better rapist than Roy than Hollander for sure.
Well, now I am, but who knows the potential he had as such a strong, passionate person. But anyway, we don't have to talk. We've talked. I don't want to get upset. We talked about Roy plenty. When we have our end of the year episode and we're deciding who the hero of the year was, I think his name will pop up for sure.
Oh shit, Mr. President. Now, talking about fake news. Actually, before I get to fake news, Fauci. You seem to be taking digs at Fauci a lot lately, even making fun of the way he throws a baseball.
No, he's a nice guy. He just happens to be a terrible doctor, a midget, and a stupid person. But no, I think he's nice. You know, we have pleasant conversations. He's always been respectful. He calls me sir. But he's one of the stupidest doctors I've ever met. He's about 4'2", so he's a useless human being. He can't even open jar. I've seen him in the kitchen trying to open jars. He can't even do it. And his advice has been terrible. His wife is not that attractive. If you saw the 60 Minutes with her,
And
and
also, he's a bad rapist.
he doesn't rap at all.
Yeah, well, that sucks. But I don't understand why you would keep, excuse my French, but shitting on a guy who is supposed to be one of your lead scientists to protect this country during COVID.
Excuse me, he wasn't my lead scientist. He was sort of here when I got here, you know, and we're going to clean him out soon enough. And I already have somebody leading the task force, who's I think a radiologist or a chiropractor. He does some very powerful form of medicine, and we're doing. The whole point is we're doing so well with COVID. Nobody ever thought we'd do this well with COVID.
Mr. President, also with the 60 Minutes interview, sorry to go back to that, but it was brought up that you invented fake news to say when the press was critical of you, you would say fake news. Not really that technically this facts were not true, but it's just when they talked about you, you didn't like when people were critical with you, so you titled it fake news. Is there any truth to this?
They may have videotape of me seeming to say that. But no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I didn't say that at all. I said, I say fake news so nobody believes them. That's what I said.
Right. So you're discrediting the news even though what they're saying could be true.
It doesn't matter if what they're saying is true. What matters is I'm the president.
Okay.
No, it's a very important thing we have to understand as a country. I'm the president. I determine what's important. It's a total hoax, the fake news. And
okay.
I think we're gonna have great therapeutics and plasma and.
So it's all about therapeutics and plasma.
Well, and other things. And I talked to the great Fred Trump last night, and he said, "You're doing a great job, son." And I said, "Thank you, sir." And he said, "No, you're the sir now." And it was like the Captain Phillips thing where he said, look at me, you're the sir now. And it was a beautiful moment with my father, the great Fred Trump. But we're going to win very powerfully in 8 days. Sleepy Joe is a total loser. And it's I may need to get another shot of plasma right now. I'm feeling a little low in energy. And you remember the fetal juice?
Yes.
I need the fetal juice.
You just take shots of it whenever you need one?
Well, we always, you have your own private chef in the White House. And, every night before bed, I have one of my Trump abortion smoothies.
Yummy. Mr. President, we have a few more topics to get to, but November 3rd is the election. And
let's make it
election
quick, okay?
day.
I have a McDonald's order coming soon. So
I understand.
You've already gotten more time than Leslie, not as hot as she used to be, Stahl.
Three more things to get to. First, November 3rd, Election Day. Right now, do you have a message to send to the Americans right now that maybe you haven't touched upon or haven't highlighted recently? Anything you want to tell our listeners so they can, tell their neighbors and get the word out?
Well, to our fans and our great MAGA nation, make sure you have plenty of ammunition and vote in person. And if you can, if you see a Democrat behind you, break the voting machine when you're done with it. And then we'll just see. We'll see what happens. We'll let the people decide. But, if you want to stand across the street from your voting station with a rifle, and yelling slurs, I think that, it's called free speech. There's nothing better than voting while exercising your First and Second Amendments. That's called super constitutional.
Mr. President, before I let you go, I know you have this is a huge week for you, and I appreciate you joining us once again. Connie Barrett, Coney Barrett is being sworn in, I think, as we speak right now, by Clarence Thomas.
Amy Coney Barrett has been confirmed by the Senate, and Clarence Thomas will be confirming her and then potentially finger banging her as well.
I didn't know that was part of the whole ceremony.
Well, it's Clarence Thomas. He's got a reputation. You thought Brett Kavanaugh was bad. Imagine a black Kavanaugh. But
I'd love to hear that podcast episode with Clarence Thomas and Kavanaugh together.
Oh boy, it'd just be I don't know what it would be, but it would probably
the other kind of rapist, I think.
Excuse me. It would probably be a snuff film. And what I would say is Amy Coney Barrett is going to be a tremendous justice. She believes in Christian Sharia law, and she will, do great things for industry and for pro-life, very pro-life. And I think it's a beautiful thing that we replaced Clarence Thomas. Thurgood Marshall was sort of a famous person, and he was replaced on the Supreme Court. Like, he was one of the best blacks, and we replaced him with one of the most conservative blacks. And then we had Darth Vader Ginsburg, who was one of the great women people, and we're replacing her with somebody that seems to really be disgusted by women's rights. So it's a total win. It's a total win. It's almost like we went into the textbooks and said, bye-bye Thurgood Marshall, bye-bye Ruth Bader Ginsburg, hello rapey black guy, and hello Handmaid's Tale justice. So it's one of the things I'm very proud of the conservative movement. Obviously, I didn't put Clarence Thomas on the court, but I put Amy Coney Barrett there along with Pencil Neck Gorsuch and Ragin' Brett. So I think we're going to see a different Supreme Court now, and it's a very strong and beautiful thing.
It's a little scary, but it could be beautiful also. Mr. President, the last thing I want to talk to you about, you had, I think, one of the best rap groups of supporters that have been put together with a rap group of Ice Cube, Kanye, and 50 Cent and you. That is maybe a second Wu-Tang. I mean, it is a strong group of rappers.
We would call it the Wu Klux Klan. Can you imagine the potential there?
Lots of potential, and it's going to be hard to choose a title this week. No, Mr. President. How do you feel? 50 Cent came out today basically saying, fuck Donald Trump, and took back his endorsement of you.
Well, we have a strict policy at the White House, no take-backsies. So sorry, 50, or as the blacks call you, and the whites who are trying to be black, Fitty. You can't take it back. The endorsement has already been placed in the endorsement bank, and we have the rights to In the Club, which we'll be playing, by the way, at our Blacks Who Hate Themselves for Trump fundraising event this
I didn't know
weekend.
that was an event. That's amazing.
No, it's a beautiful. They actually show up dressed in slave attire and whip themselves, and then make donations. So we're very proud of our outreach with the African American community. We've done strong things, led by Candace Owens. I call her the overseer of that operation, and so it's been very strong and very powerful. And we have the black vote. We have the black rap vote. We have, we're just as a, we love rap. Okay, as a rapist, I'm well steeped in the world of rap, and it's a beautiful thing. And 50 Cent can't take it back. Uh, and we'll see. We're very proud of all our endorsements. No rappers, I don't think, are endorsing Sleepy Joe.
I don't think so.
I don't even think Jay-Z. Jay-Z was out there with Beyonce for Hillary. He can't even get the Hillary rappers. How pathetic is that?
Yeah, there's not a lot of people coming out for Biden, celebrity-wise, recently, or really big names. The same people who have been on Biden's side are
Yeah,
just
it's like Bruce
blue.
Springsteen and Bon Jovi. Yawn. Great. You won Jersey people nobody cares about. Congratulations.
Well, Mr. President, it's very exciting. We are going to speak to you the day before Election Day for next
Well, I
week.
think we're going to have a lot of content next week. I think what we're going to have to do is for everybody, I think we're going to have to put out the episode next Monday so they can hear exactly what their president is thinking on the eve of the race war.
Maybe we should do next week's episode possibly live for the Patreon Patriots so they can hear it first. We'll send the message out to the Patreon Patriots, and
I think that's not a bad idea.
yeah.
Look, I would say of all the tech stuff people we've had on this glorious first term run, you're not the worst.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So, Mr. President, just want to let everybody know, join the Patreon, everyone. Lots of bonus material coming out. Patreon.com/MPGA. November is a huge month. Lots of bonus episodes. You're not going to want to miss it. So join up. Also, if you're going to bet on any sports, betonline.ag. And please check out the website, mpgapod.com. We have a YouTube page. You can see the episodes. We have highlight clips chopped up. We have some animation on there. The guys for our websites have done a great job with that, with the videos. So please go check it out because you will get to see the reactions of us. And it's every listener who has commented on the Twitter page said that seeing it brings a whole new light to this whole show. So check that out. And that's it. Happy Halloween, everyone. That's it from me, Mr. President.
Yeah, one thing I would say, I wonder if we should, as a bonus for everybody, all our new fans, if we should release last year's Halloween Patreon episode, because you realize a lot of these people weren't with us. And Halloween is considered sort of a legendary Patreon bonus episode. I wonder if we should make that available to everybody. It's sort of where the tradition began. That was, I think, our first Fred Trump tradition.
It was a powerful, powerful tradition.
Yeah, so I would love to hear that again, and I think our new fans would probably truly enjoy that as a little bonus for everybody on Friday. But that's okay. If we can't find it, we can't, but hopefully our tech stuff people can do that. What I would also say is the YouTube channel. I was looking at it. Okay, guys, it's JL. I'm done doing Donald Trump because I want you to take this seriously. The website is awesome. Once again, I know some people are like, I don't want to get a t-shirt with like Trump's image. Think of it as a memento of the show and a way to support the show. And you can wear it around the house or when you're, it'd be nice to see people show up to the live Q&As wearing it. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I get it. I would, I may wear it if outside, but I'm a large person and I can immediately start talking like Trump, so I can defend myself if I get attacked by angry progressives. So, but I get it. But if you're looking to support the show in some way and you want it is a nice T-shirt. It says "Who" on the back, which
it's great.
I love. Go get one before they sell out. And the website is really good, and the YouTube page. I really did a deep dive into our YouTube page today, and they deserve your support. So we have I don't know what we have, 10,000 listeners maybe. So thank you everybody, by the way. But what I would say to the 10,000 or 8,000 of you, whoever tunes in this week, go subscribe to that YouTube channel, because that's another way where you can, by getting subscribers and by getting views, it costs you nothing, just like the free feed costs you nothing. But once we get to like, I think it's like 500 subscribers and like 40,000 minutes of viewing or something, the videos become monetized. So it's literally by doing nothing except watching and subscribing, you can help generate more money for the podcast, but that's not even coming out of your pocket. But you'll see they've done, our tech people have really done a beautiful job.
It's awesome
with the graphics and the animation and like the record. It's really like, I feel bad not promoting it. Jay has been promoting it more than me, but once I really took a look at all the work they've put into it, it deserves your views, your subscribes, and your clicks and likes. So please, if you're bored at work, you want to catch up on some older episodes from this year. It's only been a couple of months that's been running, but it is awesome, and it can help us as well. So there's your chores. But yeah, we're hitting the home stretch of the Trump presidency, hopefully. I hope Trump can transition into the world's worst political pundit in 2021. So thank you everybody for listening. Much appreciated. Keep reviewing on iTunes. Keep telling friends. Yeah, it'll be a crazy end of the year. So we will both see you next Monday, Patreon folks. I think what we may do is make next week's episode live for Patreon people, but then we will put it up for everybody Monday night so that we can figure out our election day coverage. Part of me was thinking I might do like an all-day live stream and just take donations for charity, like literally dress as Trump and just eat McDonald's and offer commentary for like 16 hours straight. But I might have to kill myself after that. But it's a thought. And I would, like I said, I wouldn't put my Venmo up. I would put my Venmo, but then I'd say everything I make today goes to probably World Food Program is my charity of choice. But anyway, that's enough. Most of you have probably stopped listening by now. So thank you. Thank you, Jay. And God help us all.